I've wanted a Ferrari since I was a kid. I was a Ferrari guy long before I was a Lamborghini guy. I think that kind of played into my decision. Hey everyone, I'm Sean and this is Dream Cars Daily. This is Callista. I've been promising everyone a video explaining why I bought the Ferrari instead of a Lamborghini or an R8 or a Dodge Viper, F430, you name it. I probably looked at it. So today's going to be that video. We're going to tell you why I chose the Ferrari California over all of those other cars. But it's really, really dirty because I've been driving it. And today I think I want to give you a walk around of the car, talk about the car a little bit, and to do that I think we need to get it clean. And since I took my Bentley through an automatic car wash, I almost broke the internet. There were a few people that were not too happy about that. I'm not going to do that to this car, so we're going to wash it real quick. I'm going to use a method that I saw on Tavarish's channel. I'm sure you guys all watch Tavarish. If you don't, go watch him. He's great. But I actually learned something. I learned a car wash method that I had never considered before. They do a much better job of it on his channel. But essentially what we have set up is all brand new microfiber towels. And then we have two buckets. One, all the towels are going into. The towels are going to get soaked. They get used momentarily. A couple passes across the car, they get any dirt on them, and then they go into a separate bucket to then be washed and recycled for later. But you never allow any dirt to be put back into the bucket, and you're never using a dirty towel. So we're going to go ahead and get to that, and then let's explain why we chose the California. This is what happens when you do donuts with the top down and it's wet out. I think we've got a little cleaning to do. I nearly finished washing the Ferrari and did not get to film the remainder of the video. The Ferrari looks good. However, the rain came back a lot. I wanted to get the car washed so it could look beautiful for the video explaining why I chose this over all of the other vehicles. And we got it washed, it looks good. And then it started pouring down rain. And I pulled it into the shop here, and we had terrible lighting in here. Actually had somebody come in and install new lights, so we can actually do a little bit of filming inside the shop now without it being incredibly dark. So, on with the video. I chose the Ferrari California for a number of reasons. One, I thought the idea of a convertible was cool. If I were to get a convertible Gallardo or R8, there would be literally no space left for luggage, filming equipment, all of that stuff. I have no idea how some of the other guys do it. So that was a deciding factor for me. Unfortunately, I had a budget. I don't have a ridiculous amount of money to work with. I had a budget, I had to stick within that budget, and what I would have gotten in a Gallardo, an R8, an F430, those would have just not been as nice. Those designs for my price range were dated. Cool cars, I love them, but they were dated. The interior on this car is gorgeous. compared to the other vehicles, this car was amazing. I love the interior, I love the black leather, I love the stitching, I love the dash, everything about it. I loved it. When I drove it, I fell in love with it. So that was kind of a big deal to me. I also want to do a build. I want to change things on the car. Hopefully we can do some stuff to it, and you guys can watch that transformation happen. But having the black interior also was really nice, because any changes we want to make, if we want to do a wrap, if we want to go crazy with it, if we want to add some different wheels, some carbon, whatever we want to do, the black is going to work. I don't have to worry about the interior color. So that was a deciding factor. The engine. I love the sound of a Ferrari V8. I mean, seriously, listen to this. That sound is amazing. I like the way the Lamborghinis sound, but come on. That V8 at 8,000 RPM, it just screams. It's glorious. And that was a deciding factor. Again, I said the convertible was a deciding factor. So let's go ahead and put the top down. This car is gorgeous from every angle. I love it. I love the shape, I love the design. A couple other deciding factors that we should talk about. When buying a supercar, a back seat should not be a deciding factor, but for me it kind of was. I know it's not a real back seat, I know you can barely use it, but yeah, I go pick up my daughter from school on a pretty regular basis. She can toss her backpack in the back seat. If we really had to squeeze, I oftentimes pick up one of her friends as well, and she could put her seat forward and have just enough leg room to fit a kid in the back. So that was a deciding factor for me. And honestly, I've wanted a Ferrari since I was a kid. I was a Ferrari guy long before I was a Lamborghini guy, and I think that kind of played into my decision. When I was little, I said I would own a Ferrari, and so this is a life goal for me, was to be able to get a Ferrari. Lamborghini's on the same level, I know, but I said I was going to have a Ferrari, and now I do. Also, because I daily drive my cars, because they get a lot of use, because I'm going to be going to car shows, I'm going to be out there seeing you guys, I'm going to have this car all over the place. The trunk makes a difference. There is a usable trunk in this car. I can fit multiple pieces of luggage back there, and if I want to drive it across the country, I can. So that was a deciding factor. Another deciding factor is the dual clutch gearbox. I have a habit, whether good or bad, of allowing people to drive my cars. I love cars, I love sharing them with people, and just because you can't afford to buy a car like this doesn't mean you shouldn't have the opportunity to experience a car like this. And I want to be able to give that to people. And the Gallardos that I could afford would have been one of two things. They would have either been a true manual, which I was excited about and that was my goal, or they would have been the E-Gear. The E-Gear, the clutches are not exactly reliable, so you have to know how to drive them, and if you don't, it gets very expensive. Not everybody knows how to drive a manual, a true manual, so I couldn't have shared that experience with people. So there was some clutch anxiety, and I did not want to take this experience away from people by getting a car that they couldn't drive or that I would be insanely scared to allow them to drive. So, gearbox was a big deal. That was another deciding factor for me. And then this, carbon ceramic brakes. Not too many Gallardos had the carbon ceramics. They were, I think, like a $20,000 option, and being the entry level, not a lot of people sprung for them. So finding one with all of the things that I would have needed became increasingly difficult. I put 2 Gallardos through pre-purchase inspection. There were 2 of them that I was pretty interested in, I was excited about. One of them, the seller said, was ready to drive around the world. Literally, his ad said it was ready to drive around the world. The Lamborghini dealer told me it needed over $30,000 worth of work. So obviously that was a no-go. It was far from being able to drive around the world. I wouldn't even have gotten it home, to be honest, based on the clutch wear. So that one was a no-go. The second one, we were close on it, but we just couldn't get there. The third thing, look at this list. This is Perillo's checklist of everything that they go through before they sell a car to somebody. And I knew buying from Perillo, I wasn't going to have to go through a pre-purchase inspection. They did the inspection, everything was right. I didn't have to drop another $600 to $800 on a pre-purchase inspection to make sure that the car was right. So yeah, buying from Perillo was also a big benefit to me because I'm able to get in the car and drive away and know that everything's right. They gave me every single piece of paperwork on the car, all of the service history, everything that they did to it. There were a couple little minor issues that they found that they weren't happy with, so they got them taken care of long before they sold the car to me. They're not gonna let a car leave there that's not right. So, buying from a private seller, I might have gotten a few dollars, it might have been a few dollars cheaper in listing price, but who knows what I would have had to put into the car. Although this car was priced very competitively, regardless of whether it was a private seller or a dealership. And again, Perillo just took good care of me on it. So at the end of the day, all of those things combined added up to me getting this car, and I don't think I could have made a better decision. This was the car for me, and it surprised me. It wasn't where I thought this whole journey was heading, but this is where it ended up. And when you guys see me out there, when you see me at shows, come up to me, check this car out, and you'll know I made the right decision. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate your support. I appreciate your support. I am excited. I'm so excited to be able to bring this to you. I'm excited for the things we're gonna do on this channel. Follow us on Instagram. We got the shirts done. So I'm actually gonna be posting on Instagram. There's 3 different designs. There's this one, our original one that I was wearing to all the car shows, and one more. I think what I'd like to do is the first 10 shirts that are sold within 100 miles of Kalamazoo, Michigan, I will deliver by hand in the Ferrari. That's gonna be 10 shirts within 100 miles, and I will put that out on Instagram when it's time. So make sure you're following on Instagram, and again, hit that subscribe button. We got a lot coming up. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next video.